There are many explanations out there about what's going on between Comcast and Netflix, and most of those explanations are not helpful. Hi, I'm Brian Santo, editor of CED, and this is Demystifying Technology, Netflix and Network Neutrality. First, some internet basics. For starters, the internet was developed to transfer documents, and this has some very serious ramifications for video. When you click on a document, a web page for example, that page is broken up into little chunks, packets, that are then sent along. Packets do not have to share the same path, and they rarely arrive in order. Furthermore, the internet is a best effort endeavor. Packets get there when they get there. Your computer puts the packets in order and displays the web page for you. Now, if a packet arrives out of order or late, you're unlikely to notice because the whole process takes less than a second. A short delay of milliseconds is not going to make a difference one way or another with the page. Near random delivery, delays, dropped packets, none of that is good for video. The open internet is unmanaged. It's just impossible to make sure that traffic flows the way it really ought to, especially not video. This is the problem that companies like Netflix or YouTube that use the web to deliver video had from the very beginning. Now, a word about peering. Big communications companies ship a lot of traffic back and forth between them. Companies that have a more or less consistent amount of traffic with each other and about the same amount of traffic are considered peers, and those are the ones that sign peering agreements with each other. A company that might send a little less traffic might pay a little more, but essentially these companies are peers. Comcast, Verizon, CenturyLink, traffic specialists, including content delivery networks, CDNs, such as Akamai and Limelight, might peer with each other. Peers will set up direct links with each other, avoiding the open, unmanaged internet. They can manage some of their traffic, including doing things like prioritizing video transmissions and traffic between them. That's important, and we're going to come back to that. Web-based video companies, Netflix included, sign contracts with companies like these CDNs in order to carry their traffic for them. This is one of the big reasons why web-based video has gotten so much more reliable in just the last few years. Now, with 30 million subscribers, Netflix is somewhat unique. It ships out a lot of traffic. Why go to a middleman? Why not connect directly with some of its biggest distributors, such as Comcast or Verizon? Netflix looked at its options, and it created a CDN of its own called OpenConnect. Among the largest U.S. cable companies, only Cablevision has become a member of OpenConnect. Comcast and Netflix instead chose to enter a peering arrangement. Now, this is kind of interesting because they are in no way peers. Traffic flows almost entirely one way from Netflix to Comcast. But since Netflix was already paying some of these CDNs to carry its traffic, it was amenable to paying Comcast directly to carry its traffic. But Netflix is not happy with its relationship with Comcast right after it signed this contract. Why? Because Netflix subscribers accessing Netflix content through Comcast are still experiencing a few problems from time to time. Now, here's where network neutrality rules should be brought up. ISPs like Comcast can neither block nor discriminate against any traffic. Now remember, the internet is basically a best effort endeavor, even within managed networks like Comcast's. Furthermore, in cable networks, bandwidth is a shared resource. Cable operators split their networks into neighborhoods that serve a certain number of homes into what they call nodes. The size of a node will depend on usage patterns. It might be 1,000 homes, or 500, or 250. As each home in a node connects to the internet, the amount of bandwidth allotted to each customer grows that much smaller. And this is especially true if people are watching video, which consumes way more bandwidth than, say, surfing the web. And if more people on a node start watching video at the same time than expected, that can really bog the network down. Now, the cable operator wants you to have a good experience watching video, whether it's its own video or whether it's from Netflix. After all, they supposedly are the ones controlling the quality. They're going to get blamed if anything goes wrong. One way to increase performance is to perform a node split. Take those 250 homes and split them into two nodes of 125 homes each, and each one of those will get the same amount of bandwidth that the original node of 250 shared. The problem with node splits is that node splits are expensive. So cable companies don't want to do them until they absolutely have to. Alternatively, the cable network operator has the technological means to prioritize video. The problem is that it can't, because that would be discrimination. It would be favoring Netflix's traffic or video traffic over all the other traffic. That violates network neutrality principles. Compounding the issue, the cable network operator would have to look at all the packets going through its network and to determine which ones are video packets so it can prioritize them. But the problem with that is that in order to look at the video packets, it's got to look at all packets. And most people don't want that because they feel it violates their privacy. No cable operator will do that. So what's the bottom line here? Netflix is accusing Comcast of violating network neutrality principles for not favoring its video, even though if Comcast were to do that, it would be violating network neutrality principles. Netflix knows this. And now you do too. I'm Brian Santo, editor of CED. This is Demystifying Technology, Netflix, and Network Neutrality.